This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com. Chris, I don't see it getting better either. There are some people that like to say AEW is getting better, but there are people that are on the payroll because if you look at the live attendance and ratings, it's not showing that things are going better. But let's start this news update with Hulk Hogan's estate, which currently is being controlled by his son, Nick Hogan, and his ex-wife, his widow, Sky Hogan. And maybe Brooke Hogan, who asked to be left off the estate, did make the best deal because the estate is being sued for $10 million, and it's only worth about that, claiming that someone else had the idea for his signature beer, which I don't even know how well that beer is doing, but someone has filed a lawsuit against the estate. They're called Karma, Carma, claiming they were working with the beer company when he went behind their backs. Seems like something Hogan would do, and made a separate deal and cut them completely out. So apparently, according to court documents, Hogan was left $11 million in real estate, $4 million in intellectual property, $200,000 in cryptocurrency. At one point, they were only saying $10 million, so maybe there was more of the estate paid than ever. But basically, this company is asking for all of the estate. And of course, Nick, Brooke, and Sky are also, at one point, they were talking about having a medical malpractice lawsuit related to saying Hogan's death was due to a neck surgery. And around that time, Ric Flair came out and said that he had heard that Hogan died through street drugs, which ended up being totally false, something you'd never say about a real friend. And he had to apologize publicly to the family for that, because here's the family trying to get a medical malpractice lawsuit going, and you have asshole Ric Flair saying, "Oh, I think he died from street drugs." Flair's lips are moving. He's usually lying. NXT last week only did a 0.08 rating. Still better than Dynamite usually does these days, but not good. WWE had 2 shows in Montreal over the weekend, only about 8,000 a show in a 20,000 seat arena, where Montreal actually paid to have WWE come there, which is crazy. But the interesting thing is, it was a pretty lackluster card for the Saturday night main event. The 2 feature matches were Cody Rhodes against Jacob Fatu, and then there was AJ Styles against Nakamura, or Yakamura, as Psycho Sid used to call him, where they embraced after the match. Because you know, the big thing in WWE, we don't try to kayfabe anymore. We don't even try to make people heroes or faces. We just hug. After every match, we hug. And oftentimes we cry too. I am not a fan of Nakamura. At one point, he was released not too long ago. I don't know why they keep him around. I honestly don't. He's one of the most boring wrestlers. But at least WWE ran in Canada on the weekend, where there was really heavy snowstorms. AEW canceled their show over the weekend. Mind you, there was only about 1,000 tickets out, where WWE had 8,000, so of course you're going to cancel. Netflix has put out their numbers of the top wrestling events of the past 6 months. Strangely enough, Royal Rumble was number 1. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind, numbers of actual viewers are way down since going off cable, because they used to air all over the world. India alone, 5 million people were watching. These are numbers around the world, okay? Keep in mind, at 1.5 million people were watching Raw every week. Now they're lucky to get 2 to 3 million around the whole world. Royal Rumble, February 1st of last year, 3.2 million watched. That was the most watched event of last year. WrestleMania Day 2, second most watched, 2.9 million. WrestleMania Day 1, third most watched, 2.5 million. Elimination Chamber, 4th most watched, only 2 million. WrestlePalooza, 2 million. Survivor Series, 1.9 million. Interesting. WrestlePalooza had more than Survivor Series. SummerSlam Day 2 was number 7. Money in the Bank was number 8. SummerSlam Day 1 was number 9. Backlash was number 10, only 1.5 million views. Crown Jewel, number 11, 1.5 million views. Clash in Paris, number 12, 1.4 million views. Number 13, Night of Champion, 1.3 million views. And dead last, even though they presented this as a huge success on Unreal, dead last was the Women's Evolution show, maybe 900,000 viewers. Apparently, the show with the most viewers that kept going up over time was Unreal, because you could continue watching that. It didn't have to necessarily be current. However, the second season of Unreal is not doing as well as the first so far. The NXT PLEs were all about 200,000 viewers. Shane McMahon's wife, Marissa, has been nominated for an Oscar for a movie called Train Dreams, where she was one of the producers. So The Rock wasn't nominated for an Oscar for Smashing Machine, but Shane McMahon's wife was. When Hulk Hogan was on top, they weren't making as much money as they made these days, and he had a bunch of divorces and lawsuits that took away a lot of his money, hence why he was still working right to the end, to answer your question there. You would think that he would have had more money, though. I agree with you on that. It's a sad situation, but as I said, I don't think the beer company, and I don't even know if it's still going or not because I haven't heard anything about it since he passed, but to say that that's worth $10 million, I don't know if it is or not. Anyways, let me know what you think of the news today. Have a wonderful afternoon. Appreciate you tuning in.